Good morning, everybody. Morning, morning, morning. Welcome to Friday, August 28th, 2026. All right. How's everybody doing? Last trading day of this week. So it's been kind of a slow week, but it's also been not a bad week, right? It's still been profitable. Um, so yeah, we're going to kick it off. Friday, last trading of the week. Hopefully, we can close it on a good note. This week was all right. A little bit slow, profitable, but still slow. And so hopefully we are able to close it on a good note. So let's get started. Let's see what we got going on this morning on the trading front. So we got, taking a look at the markets here, S&P 500, we are gapping up today. So continuing this downtrend line that we broke out from, as you can see that over here, right? Nice little downtrend line, little buy setup pullback into the rising 21 EMA on the daily chart. And then same thing here, right? The market stages always continue. We got a stage 4 downtrend. We got a little bit of a sideways trend, stage 1. And then again, now breaking above the stage 1, entering stage 2. So
I made an oopsie, and the problem is
what is that? My browser window. All right. So we got breaking out above 772, right? But into some level of resistance here. So you got to keep that in mind. Right over there. See that? There's a little gap fill. So every day the market seems to be kind of making some nice moves and potentially setting up some new trends. But there's always some tricky things, that the market always does, which is why the bias becomes really hard. So we broke out above the sideways. It moved up yesterday, right into the prior tail, pulled back, coming right back up again, and now we're gapping up to 772.10, which is right into yesterday's high and right into the high of Wednesday. And then we got a little bit of a gap fill there. So that's still an area where the market has to get above, and hopefully we can get above that. And if we can do that, then we do have room to go higher into 778, 779, and kind of go into the into the all-time high area there. So all in all, I would say neutral to bullish bias today. Bullish primarily because if we get above these two resistance areas, we could go higher. Neutral just because this gap fill could still potentially cause some issues. So we'll have to keep that in mind. All right. So that is the S&P 500. Let's dive into the NASDAQ, QQQ. So looking at the Qs here. So looking at the Qs here, we are opening flat. So Qs aren't even gapping up like the spiders are. Qs are actually opening completely flat this morning. So that's just something to keep in mind. Opening at 720.46. In fact, that's even a 50-cent gap down on the Qs. So very interesting, very, very interesting how there's a divergence between those markets. Qs are gapping down 50 cents and spiders are gapping up. So Qs obviously have a clear level of resistance here on the 60-minute chart. You can see that there, which is about that 721.30 area, basically yesterday's high. So if markets can get above, if the Qs can get above 721.50, let's say 722, if we can get above that, then we have clear room to go higher into 729. There's nothing going to stop it. So 722 is the key number to watch. Qs get above 722, I think we go straight up to 729 and fill that gap, right? But today there's a possibility that, we could decide to consolidate in this zone. That's another possibility before we eventually break out, maybe next week. There's a chance that we could just kind of consolidate before we go higher. So we'll have to keep that in mind from a day trading perspective. But let's dive in. Let's take a look at the watch list and see what we have going on this morning. So we got PayPal, big gap down today on PayPal, gapping down. Let's take a look at that on the chart. So there we go, PYPL. So PayPal gapping down to 52.88. Wow, what was the news on this thing? So PayPal plunged about 12 to 70% after reports that an Advent and Stripe-led consortium dropped roughly $60 50 takeover bid. Okay, so yeah, gapping down on PayPal at 52. Big gap down from 62. I mean, yesterday it finally looked like in September I'm gonna get out of PayPal, right? I've been in PayPal for so long, and I sold the calls over here, covered calls, and I thought, okay, it's above that, it's probably gonna get taken away, but no, looks like we're gonna stay in PayPal for a while. I do think this could be a gap fade. Yeah, I do think this has an opportunity for a gap fade, whether it does that today or whether it does that next week. I think potentially could be a viable opportunity here on PayPal. We're gapping down right into the rising 50-period moving average. We got the 200-period moving average zone right over there is 2. So, could potentially be viable on PayPal. So I'm going to be watching it, more likely as a swing trade, as a long-term trade. That could be interesting to watch this pullback. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. All right. We're going to keep an eye out on PayPal and see what goes on there. Then next up, we have Moderna also gapping down again. mRNA. Look at Moderna here. Moderna gapping down today as well. Taking out yesterday's low. Today, I think it's going to be a little bit tricky on the short side. There's support area here on the 60-minute chart on mRNA, which is at like 131 area. So that is just something to keep an eye out on. We'll keep an eye out on mRNA. But mRNA, if I want to short that, it's got to get below this support, like 130 bucks. It gets below that, could still be watched as a potential short. We got Autodesk gapping down today, ADSK. Autodesk gapping down under yesterday's full green candle. Wow. Had a nice breakout yesterday on Autodesk above this resistance area. Broke out yesterday, big green candle. Today we're gapping down right under that. So, not really a great news there. Although shorting this is not going to be easy, because this area, which was resistance, could still become support. So Autodesk, not going to be easy short. I'm probably going to leave it alone. All right, let's see what else we got here today. Steven says Dick's still going up. Congratulations. All right, next one. All right. That's great news. Didn't even take any pills or anything. I would love to say that when I'm 80 years old. ECL is another one gapping up today. Ecolabs gapping up to 293.92. Not bad, but seems like a weird stock. I haven't really traded this one probably in a long time. I'll put it on the list, but not that excited. But Ecolabs gapping up today. I would like it to get above that topping tail, and I think then it could be interesting as a gap up. So we'll keep an eye out on it, but it's nothing that exciting there. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right. We got Affirm gapping down. This is an interesting short idea today. AFRM. Sorry, AFRM is a different one. Merck, MRK. Merck and Company. Right, this is an interesting on the gap downside. So stock was moving up, gapped up on Wednesday, 19th of August, has been trending higher ever since. Nice little pop into 156. Then yesterday it gapped down right into that 60-minute support area, and you can see it held it, right? Gapped down into the 60-minute support, held it, but then eventually rolled back over. And now it's gapping down, taking out that support. So that is very interesting on the short side, because if it can take out these lows here, there's honestly nothing on the stock until like 138. So Merck potentially has $10 room to go down and drop. So I definitely would watch that on the short side today, right? And we got Klarna gapping up. This is a pretty good looking long. I was actually mentioning this one, was it yesterday or a day before? I like it. You know, Klarna has been selling off recently. Then it formed a sideways base for like 5 trading days, a whole week of going sideways. And now we're gapping above that, right? And there's not much resistance on the way up. So Klarna on the long side, I like that a lot. That also goes on to the watch list. And then we have Klarna's brother, Affirm. Affirm's gapping up big time from $77 to $86. And, you know, it's a nice gap in so that it's taking out this resistance area. We're taking out that pivot. We're taking out this pivot there. So, again, that's pretty good. Room to go higher into this next pivot, which is about 92. So we do have room on Affirm, right? We do have room. We're gapping at 86. We potentially could go up to 92. So there is about, you know, $6 room there to go higher. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye out on Affirm as well. It looks pretty good there. All right. And let's take a look at Apple. We got Apple gapping up today as well to 316. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I would say not bad would be my analysis on that, which is that, okay, it's all right. It does have room to go higher. You know, it's gap into 316. Could go to about 318. So it has about a couple bucks today to trade. But I'm usually not a big fan of day trading Apple, so probably going to leave that alone. All right, Microsoft hanging in there. Nothing special. APP, Appleovian Corporation. Appleovian is not bad on the APP, but I think it needs to get above this 324. You know, so I would like it much better if it gets above 324, but it's not bad. You know, it is getting above some resistance here. So above 316 could actually go up into that 324. So, you know, worth a watch. You could throw it on the backup list. And then Chris is looking at Shaz. Shaz is gapping down, but I looked at Shaz yesterday. This stock doesn't have much volume, so I would likely just want to leave it alone. Yeah. All right. We have Gap. Greg says Gap is gapping up. Yeah. GAP Gap. Gap is gapping up today. But big gap today from $20 to $24. But the issue here is it's gapping right into the 200-period moving average area. So which I'm not a huge fan of, right? Right into the 200 MA on the daily. So that kind of makes the gap a little too big for my taste. All right. Jeff is looking at Baidu. Baidu gapping with no traffic to the left. Yep, Baidu is gapping up. It is actually a pretty good gap up. If we're purely looking at gap in terms of the gap quality, then you know, Baidu is pretty good. We're taking out this resistance there. Yesterday, all day it went sideways yesterday, and we're breaking out above that. So I like that. And I've already done my analysis on it, right? So there's a blue line there. So Baidu does have room to go up from 98 to about 101, 102. So in terms of the gap quality, is not bad. Just keep in mind it is a Chinese stock, and you know, these stocks, it's a CCP conspiracy to take your money. They always set up good technical analysis patterns, and then you take them, and they're just, you know, don't do much, like yesterday. So that's the only thing to keep in mind. Is I usually don't like trading Baba and Baidu, even though I trade them. If the setup is that good, I'll still do them. But usually I'm, you know, a little skeptical of those setups. So keep that in mind. All right, we got Iran gapping down. IREN gapping down. It's okay. I mean, it's got some stuff here, though, right? It's got some stuff here on the 60 to deal with. But it's not bad. Overall, I would say it looks lower. Looks like a short idea. But it does have some support in this $36 to $37 range. Marvell gapping down. Yep, Marvell is gapping down. However, we are gapping down sort of into the 21 EMA. So that is something just to be mindful of. We got Hecla Mining gapping up. HL. Hecla Mining gapping up. So this obviously looks pretty, it's the same as the silver or the gold charts. Yeah, it looks like the silver chart pretty much. So it's going to move with that commodity. And I'm usually not a big fan of day trading commodities or commodity related stocks. You know, that's why you don't see me trading, you know, even ExxonMobil that much. just because I like the stocks to just move because of their own momentum, their own buying and selling pressure. But these gold and silver stocks, they also are affected by the price of gold. And same thing with the crypto stocks, affected by the price of the Bitcoin. And then ExxonMobil and stuff affected by price of oil. So usually I like trading non-commodity related stocks. All right, let's see what else we got going on today. We got S gapping down, Sentinel 1, right? Sentinel 1S, big green candle yesterday, gapping right under that and under the 21 EMA. So this one potentially could be a short idea, although the monthly and the weekly don't really, make me want to short that. But based on the 60, you could make a case. There has room to go down into the gap fill as it's gapping under the support. So you could make a case for that, but, not that excited about it. And same exact thing on the stock RBRK. Rubric's also gapping down today under yesterday's green candle. It does have room to go down and fill the gap at 96, 98. So again, looks interesting, but they all look very similar, which is the interesting part. All these stocks we're looking at, they look very similar. We got BlackBerry moving up here recently. Yeah, but look at BlackBerry here, starting to get interesting as a potential swing trade, right? Look at the weekly chart. Nice strong move went to $14 on BlackBerry, pulled back into about $7, $8, and starting to do a little double bottom there and try to make an attempt to go higher. Yeah, but I'll leave that alone for now. W day gapping down today as well. Work day gapping down under the support. Does have room to potentially go down into that 183. Not bad, but nothing special there. All right, so let me go ahead and post my watch list. All right, let me go ahead and post my watch list here. So I am going to be looking at today, on the long side, we got APP, AFRM, right? We got Klarna, and and on the short side, I'm going to look at MRK, and you know what? Even PayPal is potentially like a gap fade watch, so I'll keep an eye out on it. All right, hold on 1 second here. And again, Baidu, just purely based on the gap, you can watch it. All right, 1 second here. Just making sure I didn't miss anything there. Cool. All right, so that is my watch list. I'm posting that in the chat there. There you go. All right, that is my watch list there in the chat, so you guys have it. Yeah. All right, there you go. That is the watch list that I'm looking at today, guys. Posted that in the chat. All right. TECK. Somebody mentioned TECK, Tech Resources. Tech is gapping up today. Not bad. It is gapping up. Looks like into new high territory, getting above this resistance area on TECK. Again, not bad. Keep an eye out on it. Interesting idea. Although it has been moving up for a while, so that's going to be, a little bit of there. But you can watch TECK. It's not a bad idea there. Oh, nice, David. Awesome. Cool. Guys, market's going to open here in about a minute. Let's get it in. Let's get it done. Somebody mentioned Oracle, ORCL. Yeah, Oracle not bad too today, actually. You are right. Oracle not bad also today. Gapping up above some resistance there. And does have room to go higher on Oracle. So we can keep an eye out on this one too. All right, so markets are open. Let's see what we got. I definitely like the Affirm and the Klarnas, If they set up, if they give us a good intraday pattern, I'm open to trading it. So I'm going to keep an eye on Klarna there. Definitely open to trading this one. on KLAR if it gives us a good pattern over $15 ideally. Definitely open to doing this one there. We got Nike trying to make a move higher today. NKE, Nike trying to make a move to the upside. All right, so Nike hanging in there. Honestly, Nike's not bad too over high of the day. If Nike gives you a pattern over high of the day, that's actually interesting too. And Nokia's pulling back a little bit. ZTS is moving higher today. That's another interesting idea. All right, so let's see what we got. So right now I'm liking Nike over high of the day, believe it or not. I'm liking Nike over high of the day for a day trade. We got TECK right into the resistance on the daily. Needs to get above that. APP is moving up right now, but no pattern. AFRM, I mean, even though it's had a pretty big move, does look higher. You know, we have a flash pattern setting up on AFRM, a little flash pattern setting up on AFRM. So AFRM looks higher. However, it's already moved from 86 to 90, you know, so it's a $4 pop. You got to keep that in mind. KLAR, Klarna, again, interesting idea for sure. You know, an interesting idea, but I need to see a pattern before I do anything with it. Merck was the short idea, but this thing is going higher, so nothing we need to do there. PayPal, I am kind of tempted on PayPal. I am actually tempted on PayPal. I might even take a shot at it with a big stop loss or something. Interested in PayPal over high of the day. I'm watching PayPal over high of the day, but it is not 100% ideal at the moment. So, gotta keep that in mind. What is Baidu doing? Baidu's hanging in there. Moderna looks lower. Yeah, mRNA looks like a short idea. You know what? I think I'm going to take a shot at Nike. I want to take a shot at Nike, guys. Nike, 38.76. Buy low of the day, which is 38.56. So 20-cent stop. I'm going to do Nike. All right. I'm going to take a shot at Nike on the long side. All right, Nike just triggered here. Nice pop on the Nike there. Hopefully it can keep going. But initially a decent pop. So Nike kind of giving it up. Hopefully it can head back up there. Nike popped up to 38.84. So hopefully it can get above it here. And we can get something going. There you go. Not bad there on the Nikester. There we go. There we go. Let's go, Nike. Just do it. So Nike went up to 38.94. I would like it to get above 39. I am going to go break even on Nike, guys. All right. I'm going to go break even on the Nike. So Nike stop raise to break even. So maybe we'll get taken out of a break even. It is what it is. All right. Come on, Nike. Hold it. All right. Hopefully this thing is going to go back up there. That would be nice. ECL you were looking at? Yeah, ECL, the problem with ECL was volume, right? Volume is the big issue, and it never got above the resistance that we wanted. So that was the issue with ECL, is that number one, no volume, right? The stock had no volume. Number two, wanted it to gap up above that topping tail. This thing ran up right into the gap fill, so it failed right at the gap fill. So this would not really a flash that I would be taking. AFRM, I mean, I love AFRM, and I think it's going to go higher. You know, I think it's going to go higher. Looks like it wants to break out and go towards $92. So AFRM could definitely go to 92. But the problem is it's already moved, you know. Typically, this stock moves $4 to $5 a day. It's already moved that today. So that's the problem that AFRM has, is the average trading range. That's the issue that I have. Otherwise, it looks great, you know. All right, so I'm still in the Nike, but kind of being annoying here. You know, it popped up, got off to a great start. I was up almost 1 hour. I was like 2 cents away. 2 cents away from our 1 hour target on Nike, but now it's pulling back. So worst case, it'll be break even, but hopefully it'll just hold it here and go back up and take out 39, and, you know, I'd be pretty happy with that. So we'll see what Nike does here. But that's what we got open right now on NKE. That's the one that I have right now. I will look at other trades too in a bit. I'm just trying to see how it breaks the high to decide what I want to do with it. Whether I want to hold it till above 39 or whether I want to take 1 hour. But we'll come back to that. TECK pulling right back down. Couldn't get above that daily resistance. APP, look at that. Got above this blue line and went straight into the next target. Did a perfect job. Unfortunately, never gave you an intraday entry or a pattern to trade. All right, AFRM, again, looks really, really bullish. Definitely like it, but the average trading range is an issue. Klarna, on the other hand, isn't too bad. You know, if you want to trick a firm, you know, maybe Klarna is a better idea to do it. So if you want to do Klarna, it'll be 1506 is what I would do. 1506 long, and then stop loss. I mean, the tightest you could go is, you know, 1481. But I might just say give it under, you know, here. So I'll watch Klarna. I would like to see some more volume come in on the Klarna. I would like to see some more volume. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more consolidation. And then I definitely like that. Klarna. Keep an eye on that. All right. Nike still hanging in there. Nike is still hanging in there. It popped up right now on the Nikester. Just went up to 38.91. Went up to 38.91, but now it's trying to pull back. Hopefully it can get back above the high of the day there and get something done. Merck, nothing special. ECL pulling all the way back down, and PayPal. Yeah, that's also very tempting here. Problem with PayPal right now is that, it's already moved from the low of 52.60 back to 54. So it's already moved $2 a day, which is what it's been moving every day. So average range is an issue. And then the other issue is it's already a bottoming tail. So those things kind of mess up for me a little bit. Man, Nike is so annoying. All right, looks like break-even trade on Nike, guys. All right, I'm out of Nike break-even. It was a good trade, though. It was worth a shot. All right, worth a shot. No regrets there. It was a beautiful trade. Nice breakout. Popped up, went straight into 1R, and we almost hit our target there. And but then it decided to get out and take me out break-even. The funny part is it still might work. That's the crazy part. Still might actually go back up and work. It's holding the VWAP there. So we'll see. Maybe I'll re-enter it some way. All right. I'm going to be quiet for like 2 seconds. Well, a minute. I'm going to go through a scan list here and see what we have going on. I do like Tesla here. I do like Tesla a little bit here on the long side. Yeah, Tesla's a little bit interesting. Keep an eye on Tesla. Looks like it wants to go back up to the high of the day and maybe even take it out. It does have room on the daily to go into the 50-period moving average. The good news is today's Friday. So our, the cash secured puts we did on Tesla, those are going to expire worthless. So we're going to collect 100% profit there this morning. All right, Tesla, interesting idea. Nokia swing trade still looking good. Keep an eye on Nokia. And OK swing trade still looking pretty good. We bought this swing trade here at about $9, and we had a nice move all the way over 11. That was a 3R trade. 3R trade on Nokia, and I'm still holding. Still holding. We also have call options on this too. So not only do we have the stock long on Nokia, we also have the options long. And stock trade got over 3R, and option trade is still open. Up nicely there. This thing could easily go to $15. All right, so Tesla pulling back. Tried to get above VWAP, failed. Pulling back down, nothing I want to do with this one. Airbnb, Nokia, I like it more swing trade / long term, but not as a day trade. Roblox is another trade I've been watching as a potential swing trade if it gets above $40, right? If it gets above $40, definitely like that as a swing trade there on RBLX. Cisco swing trade short is looking all right. I shorted Cisco swing trade. It's coming back down here, looking good. Hopefully it can break the support here for us and work its way down to $100. Netflix looking a little strong here this morning. Check out Netflix. Nice strong mover this morning, pulling back into the VWAP and trying to go back up. Yeah. It is an inside day though, so that's something we have to be mindful of. But overall, looks pretty interesting here on NFLX. Yeah, keep an eye out on Netflix. Looks higher. Snow is also interesting idea alongside. Check out Snow on the 5-minute chart from yesterday. All day yesterday it kind of consolidated and just went sideways. And now it's trying to break out above that sideways base on snowflakes. So interesting idea there, actually. That is an interesting idea there on Snow. There is an issue, though. The issue is 60-minute chart. It's got some resistance still to deal with up here on this pivot. But very interesting on Snow. All right, back to that. Nike still getting tempting again. Nike's pulling back. Might retry Nike, guys, with a stop at the low of the day. Maybe if Nike gets above VWAP, I might re-enter this thing. Might re-enter that. What are the markets up to? Qs are pulling back. So yeah, careful on the longs right now. Markets just ran up into yesterday's high. But kind of tempted on Nike again. Basically the same exact entry as what we did. I'll come back to this one. What happened on Apple? Yeah, big red candle. Yeah, markets pulling right back down on that resistance there. But look at the Apple. I drew this blue line in the pre-market, right? We drew true blue lines this morning on the Apple. So basically the same process we went at the Evolve Summit is what played out over here, right? We got above that resistance. We went up into the next resistance and we failed right there. And then there you go. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. All right, so I'm watching Nike for a re-entry here. I'll come back to this one. Let's see if there's anything better out there today. So TECK, Tech did nothing. APP, tempting buy set up there on APP. Yeah, check it out. Appleovian Corporation. APV's got a little bit of a, little bull flag pattern going on there. Looks higher on APP. I'm tempted on Nike again, believe it or not. Guys, I'm going to take a shot at Nike again. We'll just do the same exact trade is what I'm thinking. Low of the day is 38.56. Yeah, I'm thinking we just do the same trade like what we did in the morning. All right. I'm going to do Nike again, guys. Going to do the Nike, redoing it. Basically the same trade as the last one. First trade we got out of it, break even. So now I'm just getting back in it. All right. Hopefully this thing can get above the VWAP there. Ideally, if this thing can get above 38.80 again, then I think we might be all right. Come on, Nikester. Get above there. All right, so Nike we got right now. APP is doing a good job if you traded it. It's not bad at all on APP. Looks pretty good there. If you wanted to do that there, not bad. That one is moving higher right now, looking good. Affirm just died as expected. Too big of a gap. Already moved big time this morning. Klarna could not able to get above that resistance, so nothing we need to do there. Merck short did nothing. ECL did nothing. PayPal's the one that's working. And at the moment, I mentioned it in the morning, which would have been high of the day with a stop over here. I mean, I liked it, but I don't love it enough. Just because the pattern was kind of grinding higher. It was already moving higher. So there's nothing special there. Had it sat there at the high of the day and went sideways, I would have done it. But because it's moving higher, I'm not a huge fan of it. However, I do like a swing trade idea on that. I think it's worth a watch. It went down because of the bid that those people made for PayPal. But they will renegotiate. They'll raise their bid and, things will start doing their thing. Intel's moving higher. Come on, Nike. I mean, Nike's trying its best, to go for us, but the market's kind of not that strong at the moment. And guys, watch Zillow swing trade. I've been watching this for a while. Zillow for a swing trade. Zillow Group. Starting to look like a really, really, really awesome swing trade over 37.58. I think I'm going to call it. I think I'm going to call it in the newsletter. Look at that monthly chart. Sitting right at the major support zone. Right at the lows. Got this bar. And so I really like this as a swing trade. Earnings already behind us as well. So really like this as a swing trade. I think I'm going to call it, you know, I'll call it after I get off the mic here, probably over here, and give it a stop under there somewhere, you know. So we got about a $4 stop loss there on Zillow. But yeah, I think Zillow could easily go up to $50 a share. Right now it's at $36 a share. I think it has potential to go to $50. So I think it's worth a watch there. Keep an eye on AAOI. This looks like a short idea. All right, guys. AAOI. Watch this short. Applied Oplo Electronics. Looks like a short idea there. Keep an eye on that. Not bad. Interesting. Hey, Nike's getting up there. Come on, Nike. Hopefully can do it this time. I'm going to go break even again. All right. Hopefully could get it done this time. Stop to break even again on the Nikester. Target I'm going to look for is, let's just look for $38.99 as a target. So Nike target $38.99. All right. So stop raise to break even. And target I'm going to look for is basically just under shy of $39, which will be about a 1.5. ESTC. So ESTC is too big of a gap, right? This thing gapped up from 84 to 108, so it's already too big. I don't want to trade that. Size is a big issue here. And then number two, look at this big red candle this morning. After that, there's no way I'm going to trade that, right? So that's a nasty candle. All right. Anybody still in the Nike? Hopefully gets it done for us here. I mean, glad I got back in. It would have been the most disappointing thing ever in the world had I not got back in and now I watched it work. That would have been, that would have resulted in this mouse needed to be replaced and the keyboard needed to be replaced. And so yeah, hopefully we get it done. Come on, Nike. Come on, 10 more cents. Just pop up 10 more cents above the high of the day and, you know, we could be all right. All right, back to scanning. So Tesla's been pretty choppy here. Yeah, not much to do on Tesla. Leave that alone. Pretty choppy. I don't see anything to do here. Airbnb, no volume. Nokia pulling back. Roblox. The Roblox is another one like the Zillow, which is I'm like, you know what? At some point, this has got to be a swing trade. I might call both of them today, honestly. I might call both Zillow and Roblox today. But they both have to trigger, so they're not likely going to trigger soon. Cisco looks lower. Yeah, check out Cisco. CSCO. Cisco CSCO looking lower under low of the day. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Cisco under low of the day. Looks like a short idea. So I would say watch Cisco and AAOI under low of the day. Those are the two ideas that I have. Cisco and AAOI under low of the day as a short idea. I do like it. I don't love it. And the Netflix worked out perfectly. Right? I don't know if anybody took it or not, but then Netflix worked out perfectly. We were just looking at this little pullback, little buy setup. And look at that. What a beautiful move on that. Wow. So nice job on those of you who got that Netflix I talked about at about 942. Perfect move. All right, guys. Nike's moving up here. Nike's moving up a little bit. Should we just take it? This is 1R. Yeah, you know what? Let's just take Nike here, guys. It's a little bit over 1R. Taking Nike profit. All right, taking the Nike profit, 38.95. That's basically over 1R, but you're going to get your target here anyway. Nice job. We got back in it. Patience paid off. Nice job, guys, on Nike. We had a 19-cent stop loss. We got over a 20-cent target. So a little bit over 1-to-1. Not bad. Did you consider Nike FEP? So the first one was just like an opening range breakout. Second one was kind of a no regret entry. Yeah, so the morning one was high day, low of the day. So we took that first one in the morning. It popped up beautifully, almost hit the target. But then it came back down. I got out break even. Then it dipped below my break even, but then it looked like it's coming back up. So it was breaking out above the VWAP, doing sort of a, you could call it a wedge, you could call it a bull flag or whatever. But, then it's starting to get something like that going on. And then it's getting above VWAP. So all I did is I asked myself, okay, had I been doing all or nothing, guess what? In the original trade, I'm still in, right? If I did original all or nothing, I'm still in the trade. So all I did is, okay, it never would have actually stopped out. So I'm just going to get back in. When it broke above the VWAP again, broke above that wedge, got back in. And look at the Nike Gao right now. Nice job, guys. Nice job on the Nikester. Look at that, 39.06. Who got it? Type it in the chat if you got the Nike with me. But beautiful move there. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Good stuff there, guys. Awesome. Yeah. Alrighty, so we'll back to scanning there. But yeah, nice job on the mentions actually worked out really well too. The mentions also honestly worked out really, really well on these stocks. Yeah, the mentions did well. One of the mentions was APP on that bull flag breakout that I talked about. Look at that one go. Look at that one go. Beautiful rule, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah. APP mention, perfect move. That one was a good trade. And then I mentioned also PayPal over 53.80. That one's been moving up nicely too. And what else did we talk about? But so far, stuff we've mentioned has done a pretty good job. Next one I talked about was AAOI, but this has to take out the low of the day, and then it could be an interesting short. Yeah, ZTS, nice comeback there on ZTS. This looks great. Yeah, ZTS is another swing trade I want everybody to keep an eye out on. If ZTS gets back above $79 again, I think this thing could easily go to $100. So based on the monthly chart, right? Look at the monthly. Big sell-off, stage 4 downtrend. But massive vertical drop. And now we're getting the changing of the color bar on the monthly, which could result in something like a slow grind. So keep an eye on that, though. Interesting idea on ZTS. All right. You did a 1 minute flash on Apple. Yeah, Apple was a tough one today. Apple was right into resistance. So, that would have kept me out of that. Nice job on the Nikester. Amazon was a little bit interesting too today, and honestly still is a little bit interesting. Check out Amazon. This was a decent little kind of breakout pattern this morning. Broke above the VWAP, got above that area, popped up, now pulling back. Tempting. If you think the market's going higher, I would keep an eye out on this. Amazon could be an interesting as well. Yeah, keep an eye on Amazon. Looks like it wants to go higher. There you go. It's already popping up. Dix is still going higher. Look at Dix. Last 3 days in a row, last 3 mornings in a row, the Dix gone up. 3 mornings in a row. Anyways, that's an old joke. I keep making terrible jokes. Yeah. All right. Morning wood on the Dix. All right. Let's move on. Let's see what else we have here. Meta looking strong too. Check out Meta. META. Check it out. Looks like it wants to go higher on Meta. I need a girlfriend already. Honestly, what I need is a 5-hour trade more than a girlfriend right now. So yeah, I'd rather take a nice. I'd rather take Nokia gapping up to $15 right now. Because I got a decent chunk of that on my long-term account, so hopefully we can get it going. Yeah, Netflix was another mention. So far the mentions have done a great job. I personally only took Nike trade today twice, but mentioned the APP, that worked out really, really well. Mentioned the Netflix, that worked out really, really well. So those are other two trades you could have done. Right now, the Cisco is so tempting to me on the short side. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Cisco short? So here's what I'm thinking. Look at the markets, right? Markets are going higher. We just got a big green candle at 10 o'clock. So markets are popping. But Cisco is sitting at the low of the day. So that's tempting. That is tempting. The problem is I just don't trust it. The trust factor is low. But the pattern is there. It's going sideways. It's consolidating. It's relative weakness. Like, it's got all the elements. It's just, it has that feeling of, you know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, yeah. But I watch it, though. That's the only best thing I see right now. Should I do it? Let me take a look at the 60 minutes. So 60 minute, here's the problem on the 60, though. There's a little problem on the 60 where we are sitting right now, where we're consolidating. That's right into that 60-minute chart support area. That's the problem. We're hitting right at support. However, if you break that support, then we got straight move down to 110.20. That's about a 40-cent room to go down. So if I use I think risk reward is a little bit tricky on Cisco, because if I would want to trade it, I would want to give it the stop loss like above all of that, right? So that would give me a stop loss of about 60 cents, right? 55, 60 cents. And then the void is about 40 cents. So yeah, that's the issue on Cisco, is that our stop loss is going to be like 55 cents, but it's only got room to go down about 40 something cents, which is like less than 1-to-1. So that's something to be mindful of. But yeah, if you want to do it, it's happening right now. Kind of tempting, though, not going to lie. All right, look at the Nike go. Still going on the Nikester. Still going on the Nike. Perfect bounce, too. Look where Nike bounced today. Look where the bounce occurred. Bottom of this trend line. That's why I always tell people, draw your trend lines, right? Because if you draw them, you know every time where the bounce potentially could occur. If you never drew your trend lines, you're like, what the hell is Anmol doing? Why is he trading? Like, look at this. If I don't draw the trend line, then you're like, what the hell is Anmol doing? This stock is weak. It's going down. It's been, selling off. There's no support. And then you won't understand what I'm trying to do. But now, when you draw the trend lines, right, now you fully understand exactly what I'm trying to do without even talking about it. Because now you can see that. Oh, look at that. Trend line support. 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 So yesterday came down right into that trend line. Today gapped up above it. Okay, today's the bounce day. Right? So if you draw them, it'll start making sense. So if you don't draw them, you're not going to see it. Right? Yeah, trend lines are free. Exactly. Right? You should be grateful that these TradingView did not come up with like SaaS programs like the software companies do, where they start charging you, hey, platform is free to use, but it's 5 cents a trend line. No, it's free. So draw as many as you want. Nobody's charging you for it. Draw it on your charts so you can see where things are failing and why they're bouncing. Okay. Cool. So guys, any other questions? Any questions, any comments, any concerns? Let me know. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, anything you guys want to go over, anything you want me to take a look at. If there's a trade you are in right now or looking to get into, you want my opinion on it, type it in the chat. I'll take a look at it. Or if there's a trade you took earlier today, you want me to review that for you, also type that in. Happy to take a look at it. But I'm pretty happy with the day. We had a okay day yesterday. We had a profitable day today. We had a nice day on Wednesday. And then again, small break-even-ish days the other days. And then today is also Friday. So Tesla is going to expire worthless. We're going to collect our money from the cash secured puts. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the week. Slow week, but happy with it. How do I prevent VIC outs and straight to targets? Let's take a look. Circle, 5-minute sell setup, triggered, and 6 seconds later, it made a topping tail. This one right here. So that was the 10 o'clock tail, right? That 10 o'clock tail happened, well, because look what the markets did. Look at markets 10 o'clock tail. So that was just a byproduct of the market. So how could you avoid that? Well, number one, either don't get in, wait for 10:01, 10:02 for the 10 o'clock candle to happen. That's number one. Or you just give it a big stop, right? Just give it a big stop. So if I was doing the sell setup, there's no reason for the stop loss to go here, right? There's all the reason for it to go over there. So I would have used that as a stop loss. And then when it finally did this wick and died, okay, now let's bring the stop down. Yeah, so that's why I always teach you guys to always start with a big stop, let it do its thing, and then as it's done its thing, okay, then let's bring the stop down, right? Because if you initially got in with the stop here, there's nothing here. The pivot is here, and there's another pivot here. There's nothing there in the middle. So that's the ways you can avoid it. Is either don't trade right before 10 o'clock or give it a big stop. Yeah. All right. We got 10 o'clock. We had the Michigan consumer sentiment, Michigan current conditions and consumer expectations. So that's why markets moved a lot. And there was shit going on in Michigan at 10 o'clock. 5-year inflation expectations. And now we also have the Fed Governor Warsh. He's going to be speaking and opening his big old mouth, right, at Jackson Hole. So that's happening right now too. So that's why the markets are acting a bit weird right now. See this market? That's why we're getting these big moves. His Fed Chairman Warsh is going to be opening his big old mouth right now. Marvell had good earnings. Why did it go down? Because the stock price has nothing to do with the earnings report being good or bad, right? Stock prices move based on technicals and momentum. And momentum was, well, it wanted to make a lower high, right? So the earnings don't matter. Yeah, we're breaking under support is what matters. That's why it's going down. Broke under the 50 EMA, broke under the 21 EMA, broke under the moving averages. So for now, for Marvell to be bullish again, it has to get back above the 20 and the 50, and then it could be bullish again. But right now it broke down. Yeah. Yeah, that APP. I mean, hey, guys, I told you. I gave you the heads up. You just got to do it. But that was a beautiful one. I'm kind of kicking myself, too. I'm like, yeah, I should have done that one. But you know what? I'm okay with it. At least we got back in Nike and still got our money. But yeah, this one I should have done, too. And that would have been a nice, beautiful day there between the two. So Cisco so far looks like a good idea, not doing it because I didn't trust it. But yeah, now I'm feeling better about it because markets dropped and Cisco did not. It just triggered people in and coming right back up. So yeah, maybe my gut feel was right on this one. Yeah, ZTS holding up really well despite the market sell-off. It's great. Looking good there. Even Nike. Look at Nike, guys. Despite this market sell-off, Nike's crushing it right now. Nike's doing a great job. Yeah. We have call options on Nike in the Options Alerts newsletter. And by the way, those of you who are just tuning in or just logging in, check out our website now, LiveTraders.com. We have a brand new website. Everything's been revamped. The website's been revamped. We got new membership models now. And now it's super simple, super realistic, and super easy to be able to know what exactly the path is for you. So yeah, check out the new website. We've changed the prices, we've changed the pricing, we changed the memberships, and we made it super simpler and way better. So now in one membership, you get both the live trading room, you also get the options alerts, you get the swing trade alerts, newsletter, and you will soon also start getting all the covered calls trades, so all in one membership. So maybe make sure to check that out on the website there, LiveTraders.com. All right. But yeah, so let's take a look here. Where are those Nike options at? And if I want to take it or not, we bought them at 295. The problem is I only bought a tiny position, so I'm like, you know, but I should, I have a tiny position. But yeah, they're not even up that much. The options are up like 320. So yeah, we'll just hold it for now on the Nike. And then we have ZTS calls. Those are looking good too. And we have Nokia calls. Those are up beautifully here. Yeah, look at NVIDIA giving up all of yesterday's green candle there. Yeah, NVIDIA giving it up. PayPal still holding up all right. Holding up sideways there. He's talking right now, right? Talking right on a Friday, because, they always do this. They'll talk, go into the weekend, and then later they'll have to release the minutes or the notes, which will reaffirm that or change it. So usually what happens is market says one thing and does one thing, and then next weekend you're like completely negates that. So it's crazy right now on that. All right. Dave, it looks SoFi short. Out is not 1876. Okay. Yeah, getting close to your target there. 1876. Yeah, you might get that there. Just make sure you have some management strategy to kind of trail your stops in case it pulls back up there. But 1876, I think you should be able to get that. Gap 2407 by 2353. This one, I can see your reasoning, but not something that I would trade. Not really a pattern that I trade. So, yeah. But I mean, the stock gapped up, sold off into the 200 MA. It's trying to find some support. But, on the way back up, we got VWAP as a resistance there, which is at 2430. So it could pop up 2430 and then kind of roll over again. So for me, I'm not a huge fan of it just because there's much stronger stocks I can buy right now. I mean, take a look at, take a look at Netflix, take a look at Amazon. These stocks are doing so good. I would rather just buy these that are going higher right now than having to pick a bounce on this one, because this has already proven it's weak. So I'd rather trade relative strength as opposed to relative weakness. But yeah, look at CRWD. What a sell off on this one. Yeah. But again, guys, notice something. Notice the trend lines. Notice the trend lines. Right? If we drew the trend lines, then you kind of know, okay, look at where it's running up into. Top of the channel. Look what happened. Died. So check it out on the website. Somebody asked a question there. But yeah, membership prices are on the website. It's basically right now we launched it for $2.99 a month. So, those of you who are on a trial or just tuning in, you can check it out on the website. So yeah, the launch pricing is $299 a month, and you get daily live streams with me Monday to Friday, 9 till 11 every single day, and also the swing trades and also the options trades. And all of the other stuff that you could join us in. So I could show you. I showed it yesterday already, though, but I'll bring it up again. But yeah, that's the results for this year. Hope they were, they're okay. They're good for me. I mean, I don't mind it. But yeah, those are the results. So these are all the option trades I've called in the swing trade side. These are all swing trades, in addition to the chat room trades. So the chat room trades are like what we did today on the Nike. And here are all the options trades. So these are all the recent trades that we've closed, right? These are the open positions right now that I have. These are all my closed trades. Here's the P&L. Win rate's about 66.67%. Here's the P&L generated on that. And those are the option trades. And the options income trades, the covered calls trades, those are these ones here. So we've generated a total gain of about $83,000 on these this year. And, today we got Tesla and PayPal open. They're both going to expire worthless, so I'm going to put that in there. Right, August 28. All right, we did put. I'll put the numbers in later. So this will expire today, and we're going to collect, more premium there on Tesla. We sold these August 26th. 26th. So that one's already expired. We did PayPal. Did I not do the 28th? I don't think I ever did the 28th. Damn it. All right. Well, we got PayPal September 4th. I thought I posted it. It looks like last one I posted was 3:35 to August 26th. I forgot to make the post. I called it in the chat room, but those are the options trades. So yeah, those are all the option trades. And then we have, is there something wrong in the total income? I don't think so. Do you see anything wrong in it? Let me know. But the total income is minus the stock trades, because we also had a L on the stock, right? So that should be correct, I think. But yeah, those are the results. Check it out. Let me know if you find anything on the spreadsheet that needs to be fixed. But yeah, we got the total income, which is all the income collected so far. And then total profit and loss on the stocks is that's the one that comes from here, right? The P&L on the exits on the stocks. And then this subtracting by that is how we get this number. So yeah, no, it's a formula, correct? Maybe. Hold on. Yep. So then that's the premium collected there. Those are the overall results. So Tesla, PayPal, now that it's gapped down, we know for sure is going to be a free trade. So, that will expire. There you go. So September 4th, it'll be about 84,000. All right. So Tesla, I was going over the Discord. Seems like the August 28th post was never made it out there. So maybe we could just do something today. Let's see what we can get on this one, on Tesla. If we do today's expiration, I'm gonna do 347.50. It's a decent premium there, 55 cents. Or let's just do 345. Let's do 347.50. I can get 50 cents for that. Okay. Or 347.50, my bad. What am I posting? 350. All right. I sold the 347.50 calls on Tesla expiring today at 50 cents. So if Tesla can stay above 347.50, then we will collect, $500 profit. And if it gets below that, then we'll own it at those prices there. Okay, cool. Do I get my old training? Yeah, everything else that you've already, somebody was asking me a question. So yeah, anything you've already purchased stays in your account. So yeah, nothing changes there. Yeah, total income is the sum of the gains and losses from stocks. No, that is correct. It just doesn't account the open positions right now. It only takes into account the closed positions. So yeah, those are the closed results there. All right. So what else, guys? What else is going on? But so far, as expected, as I explained this morning, a little bit of a slower trading day, but I am happy with my trading, and this is how it is. I think a lot of people misrepresent what trading really is, right? Trading is not about action. Trading is not about doing more things. It's not about taking more trades. It's about picking quality over quantity and then doing the right thing, you know? So it's all about quality over quantity. So back to what I was talking about the other day when I went over that lesson. It's the same exact thing. It's like doing it the right way. The good traders that I know, they are the quiet ones. They're hanging around, they're doing thing, and they might have 1, 2, or maybe 3 day trades a day. Rest of the time, they're doing these strategies, the swing trades, the cover calls, finding long-term positions, and quality over quantity is the only way to last in this business. The more action-seeking one, when it works for you, it's freaking phenomenal. But when it doesn't work, not only do the results show that, but then our psychologies get affected, and now you're no longer able to fully be, in that situation. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Gotta stay focused. So American Airlines starting to look interesting again, guys. Yeah, check out American Airlines. Starting to look interesting again. I was in this swing trade on American Airlines, but I raised my stop to break even. And then yesterday, it was holding break even all day. And towards the end of the day, it just did a little peekaboo and took the shares out. So I got out of American Airlines break even. However, I'm still liking it. I might recall this over 13.95. So like 13.96 with a stop loss down here. American Airlines is an interesting swing trade again. So yeah, definitely watching. My top 3 swing ideas are Roblox, all right, Zillow Group, and then now this AAL as well are watching as swing trades. Exxon Mobil, you guys are looking at 1020, 155.90. Yeah, it was already at like 155.70 at that point. All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk about or go over. Google, buy setup at 339.61. 339.61. It's not typically the buy setup that I don't want to do, Not typically the buy setup that I would want to do. I like strong pullbacks. So I like things like strong move up, strong move down. Like these kind of buy setups is what I like. So this one was a little bit sloppy because how the pullback started. Right? Notice how the pullback started, like big move up and then suddenly bam. So those ones I'm not a huge fan of. Now, got off to a good start. So hopefully you go break even or something or take your profit. But I think that just the way it pulled back, right? So we always, in the PTS course, we talk about like smooth move up and then like a smooth pullback down. What we don't want is something like what it did here, like moving up and then bam, like instant, like big red pullback, right? It took it from 9:43 till 10:03. So it took it like 20, 25 minutes to go up and 2 minutes to come back down. Those ones I try to stay away from as buy setups. Not saying you can't trade them, but it's just not like a buy setup as a textbook buy setup that kind of we teach, right? So, but it's more like a double bottom retest trade, and I don't mind it really. If you were to say, okay, I bought some here, it got off to a good start, I went break even. Okay, that's the way to do it. If you could go quickly break even. But the better pullbacks, I like them more imagine like a flag angle, right? Like a 40 type of angle. So we want the angle to be more like that as opposed to that. See that? So I want that rather than that. So this is this, right? This is this one. Don't want that one. Want something like the AAOI, not the AOI. What's the other one that we were looking at? APP. All right, there you go. Now that's kind of the pullbacks that we want. Move up, pull back, go up. Move up, pull back, same thing, right? Same exact thing. Later in the day, right over here. So that's the pullbacks that I like, and I'd like to see you guys do more of is these pullbacks, as opposed to this one. Yeah. So those will be the easiest trades because they're showing strong momentum, smooth pullback, and then they can continue the uptrend. But when they pull back steep, that shows sellers came out of nowhere and they were more in control. Yeah. So yeah. So somebody's asking me a question, what platform are I using? I use TradingView for my charts, and then I use Interactive Brokers combined with Trader Flow for my trading. So yeah, those of you who are on, what do you call it? If you guys are trading on Interactive Brokers, or if you are trading on Interactive Brokers or TradeStation, then definitely check out Trader Flow. It is hands down the best way to trade, because on Trader Flow software, it makes the whole business pretty easy to run, right? And we'll talk about that a bit later today. But we have, we got all the available options. So you start the day, you open the trading day, boom, you have your gap list here, gainers, losers. You have your economic calendar, you have your earnings calendar, and then if you have all these other features here, you got your watch list feature, you got the back testing feature, journaling, performance, dashboard, and actually trading, which is the best part, which we'll talk a little bit about today. But yeah, hopefully you guys have noticed that or taken advantage of that, because now if you go into our trading room there, and for example, let me show you. All right, hold on one second. So yeah, let me show you, let me bring up the chat room and I'll show you the announcements there. So let's bring that up. Where is that? Hold on, trying to see how I can bring it up over here. Hold on, my bad. This is taking a while. Chaster is pulling back. Hold on. I have to create a new scene to share the screen. Mac OS screen capture. OBS did an update or something. I'm like, how did that work? Okay. So application capture. Cool. So, all right, now you should be able to see it. No. Where did that go? There it is. So right over here, you can see in their chat room, we have this written over here, Nike trade, right? This is the trade that I called today. In one click, you can click open in Trader Flow, right? In one click, it'll open up right on Trader Flow with the right entry, right stop loss. And with one click, you can just copy the trade if you wanted to. So we have that featured now in their chat room as well, so, and it manages the trade too. So if I call the trade, you click this button, boom, it'll automatically be done in your account. And Once the trade is done, you can select your management strategy on the software. You can say, hey, I want to do 1 hour. I want to do 5-minute bar by bar. I want to trail the moving average or whatever management strategy you have, you put it in there, and it'll automatically manage the trade for you as well and get you out. You don't even have to be there in front of your screen. That's the best part. That is the best part. So that's already in there in the chat room with the Trader Flow software. So you guys can check it out. Do you offer options courses? Yes. So we have our Academy program. You guys can check it out there. So take some time on the website. Now we've done a good job that is pretty explanatory. So we have 3 levels, right? Level 1 is the membership, which is $2.99 a month. And in that you get the live trading room, right? Every day, Monday to Friday. You get the swing trade newsletter, options alerts, and covered call, right? And you also get Discord access and the chat room access. That's level 1. Level 2 is the Trading Academy. That is where you get all the courses, every single training we've ever done, from options, from psychology, from options, covered call, psychology, trading plan creation, professional trading strategies, day trading strategies. You get entire library, which is like, guys, how many hours would that be? Probably like 50 plus hours, right? 20 hours is just the PTS course, strategy course, 7 hours, options course, 7 hours, psychology course, 5 hours, Evolve Summit, another probably 20 hours. So you get all the trainings in one price, because I just couldn't be bothered with running a business or promoting it. Like, take this course, take that course, that's that. All right. So that is that. So in level 2 is where you get all the Academy courses. Yeah, all the best, Stefan. All the best to you as well. And yeah, he'll still be here. So still doing his trading, and wish you all the best with everything, and with your trading and everything else that's going on, and the heat in Europe too. So hopefully you have a great one. And thank you for helping everybody out while you've been here. Appreciate your help a lot, and would look forward to having you sometime again in the future as well. So in level 1, as I explained, is the membership. And level 2 is the Academy, where you get all the courses ever created, all in one, lifetime access. And then level 3 is the Mastermind, which is the Evolve Mastermind. So in Evolve, you get the chat room, you get the newsletter, you get the entire level 1. You also get the entire level 2. And then you get the monthly, 2-3 monthly Zoom calls with me and the expert speakers. You get the live summit. We got the next live event in February coming up. So you guys are going to also get access to, you guys are going to also get access to the live event that's coming up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 3 days with me. I'm going to lock you in the door, and you're not going to leave until you figure out how to be consistently profitable. That's the promise. If you do what we talk about. If you want to do it your own way, if you want to reinvent the wheel, you want to try to find your own way how to do things, go right ahead. All the best to you, right? I was one of those. I can figure it out myself. I could do it better. And then, boom, keep spinning your wheels. Rather than following one system that is going to get you there, right? Like, I'm literally giving you my trading plan. Nobody does that, right? So nobody gives you the entire plan and calls the trade before it does it. So that's what you get in level 3 is you get all the other things. So hopefully the new model is simplified for everybody, so you guys can see wherever you fit in, in that model. Level 1 is basically me showing you what I do. Level 2 is I teach you how I do it. And level 3 is I make you do it, basically. So that's the situation there. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll have Chester come on here in a little bit. All right, maybe we'll have Chester come on here in a little bit and kind of give you all the updates that Trader Flow has had. All right, great. So I'll stay on for like 10 minutes, and then I'm going to hand it over to Chester Gould. He's the lead programmer for the software called Trader Flow. So he's going to come in and demo that for you, founder of Trader Flow. And he's going to come in and kind of walk you through all the new updates that we've had that we're so excited about. And yeah, it's getting better and better, really. Greg, gonna call it a day. You got 1 hour on the second Nike. Nice job. And then you do Klarna. What did you do on the Klarna? It looks like it never took out the high of the day. So, yeah, maybe you got in on a pullback or something. Did you get on a pullback? I don't really see much on the Klarna. Yeah, I after it did this big green candle and came all the way down, yeah, I would have wanted it to. That's the trade above there. Otherwise, it's just up and down, up and down. It's in a sideways range. So, yeah, I would probably have skipped that one there. But, you know, all right. That's not bad. So what else, guys? Any other questions? But basically, okay week. You know, slow week, but we've gotten 1 hour winners here and there, so we're not bad. Next Monday we have our Evolve Zoom call. Please be there because I want to kind of do a reset call. Really, like we'll continue what we talked about last time. But I also wanted to do like a reset call. But maybe you know what? Maybe the reset call, I'll go over it again. Maybe I'll just do it in the room as a chat room lecture. But there's a call that I wanted to do about because I see a lot of people spinning their wheels. And I'm like, how are you in this business for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? How are you still at $100 risk? Explain that to me. Like, something's up, right? Something's not going the right way. So there's something we need to get to the bottom of. And honestly, it really comes down to one thing. And yeah, Doug, I would say the same thing for you, right? Is going back to the same thing. When it comes to giving a trade a name, you got to give it just one word answer. What's the pattern? Not explain it. It's got to be one word answer. And then pattern has got to look exactly like the patterns that I am looking at, right? And then number 2, you got to actually take them. Number 3, you can't be getting out of them early or whatever. You got to follow the plan. So those elements need to be there. Now, the hard part is if you have those elements and you're not getting the results, that is an issue. But I suspect the issue always is like, oh, I did get out of this one early, or I know I shouldn't have gotten into that one, but I still got in it, and those are the major issues that people have is not focusing on quality because we got FOMO. Oh, look at all these things are moving. I want to get in. And we have the FOMO there, and that's the problematic situation. So we'll talk about that. Maybe I'll do it in the chat room or maybe I'll do it on the Evolve call coming up here. But I wanted to kind of do a reset lesson to bring everybody back to the foundations because without that, you're going to get lucky. You're going to make money. You're going to get lucky, but luck is not something that you could build an entire career on business on, and that's why I want you guys to have a system and really learn to do it the right way. So that's the call that I gave the last time. I'll do it again. I will give that call again because how it's helpful. So before we wrap up today and before I hand it over to Chester's going to come on and demo the Trader Flow updates with you. I wanted to share the lesson with you. And I want to start off by genuinely saying I appreciate every one of you who spend your morning here watching me trade. And whether you followed for years or whether you used to be part of a community, whether it's the first time you ever seen me. So, thank you for being here. But I also want to ask you a slightly uncomfortable question, which I always do. And I mean this with love. Especially those of you who are watching right now on YouTube. I just started streaming on YouTube. What the hell are you doing on YouTube during the trading day? Right? Seriously, the market was open, stocks were moving, opportunities were developing, and somehow you ended up watching me trade. Now, I'm glad that you did. Please don't leave. But think about what that might be telling you. Maybe you were here because you wanted to see what I was watching. That's cool. Maybe you wanted confirmation of your own ideas. Maybe you didn't have a plan this morning. Maybe you were jumping between different streams and scanners and social media accounts, Discord groups, chat rooms, hoping somebody would show you the trade that is about to work. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to learn. The problem begins when watching other people becomes a substitute for developing our own ability to trade. Because watching is not the same thing as training. And consuming information is not the same as building skill. Let me explain that through a story. There was once a great boxer, a man who wanted to become a great boxer, right? I gave this lesson the other day. And every night he watched the footage of the greatest fighters in the world. He studied Muhammad Ali's footwork. He studied Mike Tyson's foundations and Floyd Mayweather's defense and, combinations. He could explain every single movement that the boxers were doing. He knew the punches that they were going to throw. He knew how they're going to move their head. He knew how they controlled the distance. And after several years, he believed that, you know what, I think I got it. I understand boxing now. And then one day, he finally walked into the real boxing gym. The coach put him in the ring with a trained fighter. The bell rang. And within 30 seconds, everything he thought he knew disappeared. Why? Because he collected knowledge without developing the capability. He'd watched thousands of punches, yet he never learned how to remain calm once a punch was coming towards him. And that's what happens to a lot of traders. You watch hundreds of videos, you know the terminology, you can explain VWAP, you can explain support and resistance. They know what a bull flag is. They know what an opening range breakout is. They can, tell you what the Federal Reserve is doing. And they might even have this 5 monitors and impressive looking, amazing trading setup. But when the trade goes against them, the knowledge disappears. Giving them like a trade alert. Trade alerts are not important. I mean, they are helpful, but they're not important. Not somebody promising that every trade is going to work. What you need is an environment that teaches you how to think, how to prepare, how to manage the risk, and how to review your behavior while the market is actually moving. Right? You don't need to join the trading room for the trade alerts. Sure, I'll give you trade alerts. I think I do a pretty good job of that. But that's not what you want to, that's not the reason why you want to be there. You want to be there to develop your own thinking. Because the markets reveal about you that a pre-recorded video can never reveal. Right? It's almost like so it's almost like, you imagine like 2 people, they're deciding to climb a mountain. The first person downloads every map he can find. He watches videos about mountain. He reads reviews from people who climbed the mountain. He buys the most expensive boots, the best jacket, and a backpack filled with all the equipment. He feels prepared. The second person hires a guide who has climbed the mountain hundreds of times. As they begin climbing, the first person moves faster. The first person is feeling confident. He has all the information. But after several hours, the weather changes up as you're climbing the mountain. The trail now is harder to see. The temperature drops. One path looks safe, but it leads to unstable ground. That is when the guide really becomes valuable, doesn't it? Not because the guide can control or change the weather. Not because the guide can carry the person up the mountain. The guide is valuable because he has seen these conditions before. He knows which path looks attractive but is dangerous. Just like a trade. When you guys sometimes show me a trade, I'm like, you know what? I see what you're looking at. It is attractive. I see exactly what your mindset is at. It's an attractive idea of the trade, but it's also a dangerous one. So the guide knows when to continue. He knows when to slow down. And most importantly, he knows when turning around is the smartest option. And trading is a lot like climbing a mountain during a weather change. The chart looks obvious after the move has happened. The setup looks perfect when someone posts a screenshot later, right? I mean, anybody can go in later, type in here's the trades that I took and review it. After the fact, everything looks pretty. But in real time, the market is messy. In real time, you don't know whether the breakout's going to work or the breakout's going to follow through. You don't know whether the pullback is going to hold. You don't know whether the next trade is going to win or lose. The uncertainty is where traders reveal their habits. Because it's easy to be disciplined when looking at yesterday's chart. Oh, here's my trade review. Okay, great. After the fact. The test is whether you can remain disciplined today when your money and your emotions are involved. And here's the uncomfortable reality check. Some of you have been trying to figure this out alone for years. You've told yourself, I'm smart, I'll eventually get it. And you know what? You are probably smart. But intelligence can sometimes be a disadvantage because it convinces us that we shouldn't need help. We then think asking for guidance means we're weak or we're incapable. We think joining a community means we are independent. But think about every high-performance profession in the world. Professional athletes have coaches. The greatest golfers in the world have coaches. I mean, I'm working with a coach right now to get better at golf, right? I have clients that run hedge funds that I'm coaching for. Why do they have more money than I do, but why would they hire me as a coach? Because everybody needs a coach. Championship teams win together. When they're watching their videos, they're watching and breaking down other teams' footage together. Surgeons train under other surgeons. Pilots use instructors and simulators. Even the coach has a coach. Yet traders lose money for 3 years and say, I think I just need to watch a few more videos of technical analysis, one more course, and I think I'll get it. At some point, you have to ask yourself whether the way you're currently learning is actually producing the results you want. I know I haven't been active on YouTube. I know I haven't done a good job making videos, but that's just, I'll try for sure. I'll maybe do a trade review video this weekend, but like I'm not a YouTube content creator, right? But I'm a pretty good trader. But people want, hey Anmol, I love your videos, but I would like more the technical analysis kind of videos that Jared used to do. Like, when he used to break down charts and stuff. I'm like, okay, how long have you been watching those technical analysis videos? I've been watching them for 5 years. I'm like, great, let's take a look at your spreadsheet right now. I want to see how you're trading. Oh, I'm at $20 risk right now. I'm like, wait, how? How are you watching it for 5 years and still at $20 risk? Because you didn't have a coach telling you, here's the next step. Here's the next step. Okay, now go to 40 risk. Now go to 60 risk, right? So when you're working with a coach, boom, now you're up there, $500 risk, $1,000 risk, and actually doing the activity of trading and making it happen. Or you could be what I call the learning loop, where you keep learning. Every day there's a new video or new lesson, but you're not actually making the improvement, right? Because there's a difference between being busy and progressing. A man can run on a treadmill for an hour and travel 0 miles. He worked hard, he sweat, he became tired, but he didn't go anywhere. And some traders are doing the mental version of that. They wake up early, they scan the market, they watch the videos, they read the posts, they take the trades, and then they feel stressed, and then they spend hours looking at charts. But when they compare themselves to 6 months ago, they haven't changed. They're still at the same account size. They're still chasing, they're still breaking stop loss, they're still trading random setups, they're still trying to make back losses, they're exhausted, but they haven't traveled anywhere. And that's not a lack of effort. It's just effort without the direction. And more effort in the wrong direction does not solve the problem. It actually gets you lost faster. All right. So another analogy. Imagine a plane takes off from New York City, but the plane is only 1 degree off. Just 1 degree, right? Just 1 degree off. At the beginning, the error of that plane looks insignificant. It's only 1 degree off. A few minutes later, you barely notice it. But the longer the plane travels, the farther it gets from its intended destination. Trading mistakes often work the same way. Taking one trade without full confirmation does not feel serious. Moving one stop loss does not feel serious. Risking slightly more than your plan allows does not feel serious. Skipping one journal entry doesn't feel serious. But those small deviations then become our standard, and our standard becomes our reality. So eventually, you are miles away from the trader you originally intended to become, and that is why you need feedback, because human beings are not very good at observing themselves objectively. You cannot see your own facial expressions during a difficult conversation. And in trading, you often cannot recognize your own emotional patterns while you are inside of them. So what you need is a mirror. A strong trading environment becomes that mirror. It shows you how a professional prepares before the open. You get the point, right? You guys get the point. And we will continue this lesson tomorrow in the trading room. But I just want to kind of close with this. Is that there is no magic. There is no promise that every trade is going to win. But there is a process. There is structure. There are standards. And there's a community of people working to become better traders rather than simply searching for the next exciting trade. So if today I gave you some value, don't let it become one more video that you watched, enjoyed, and then forgot about. Take the next step. Come inside and experience the environment for yourself. So we do have a 7-day trial. Those of you who are watching, online or something, I think that should be the link there. And join us in the live trading room. Watch how we prepare. Watch how we filter the trades. Watch how we manage our risk. Ask questions. And those 7 days, use those 7 days to decide whether this is the environment that can help you stop digging shallow wells and start developing real depth. And you don't need to commit your entire future today, but you do need to stop pretending that the same approach will suddenly create a different result. Because the market does not reward how long you've wanted success. It rewards the skills and habits you've actually built. And the right environment can shorten that distance between knowing what to do and becoming someone who actually does it. So once again, I'm going to hand it over to Chester. Chester's going to be coming on and talking to you about Trader Flow. So those of you who are joining on YouTube, I'm glad YouTube brought you here. And thanks for spending the morning time with me. But the real question is whether you're going to be in the exact same place tomorrow, searching for another stream, or whether you're ready to step into the room, begin trading with intention, and finally treat your trading like a professional skill you say you wanted to become. So Chester is going to be coming on. I'm super excited, guys, by the way. We got some really amazing features that I didn't know existed in the software. So I'm going to hand it over to Chester. Chester's going to be coming on talking to you about the Trader Flow software. Alrighty. 1 second, guys. Those of you who are on YouTube, Chester is going to be on here shortly, and I'm just going to broadcast the trading room for you guys. How about that? Let's make this a big screen there. All right, and Mr. Chester is going to be on here shortly. Hopefully, you guys can hear the audio. That's the main thing. Hopefully, you guys can hear the audio. But yeah, we even have the trade calculator now. So those of you who are watching on YouTube, we have the trade calculator built inside of the room. So you can just put in how much you want to risk, what's your entry, what's your stop loss. It'll automatically let you know what your risk unit is, how many shares you need, what's 1 hour target, what's 2 hour target. It kind of lets you know all of that. But anyways.
Hello, can everybody hear me? See me? Oh, I can't see myself, but I can see myself on the other one. Can everybody hear? Can anyone hear? Oh, okay, nice. Did you hear me singing? Okay. Sorry, so I almost said something about a miracle or something. I got the song stuck in my head. Anyway, all right, get excited. We got a bunch of new features for Trader Flow. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough on everything because it's been such a long time. So, here's the dashboard. I also really like those QQQ. I might even get in on the Qs and just show you a live trade just because I got in it before. I might just do like a really short, let's see. I'll just do a really quick one, like low risk, 722.60. There. All right. So I just placed an order. You can see the order. So one cool new feature is like, hey, there's the trade. You know how quick and easy it is to take a trade. I don't know if you saw that, but I just typed the letters HO day, and it automatically put a limit order for the actual high of day. So it auto calculated that limit. And then now we have a new feature here where you can kind of see the orders here. If for some reason you don't like that, you can just like click cancel. But this is about to get filled, and it says maybe we'll see if it gets filled. If it gets filled, I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, there we go. So, okay, so automatically got filled. And then you'll notice as soon as it filled, it automatically went into an order management strategy that I pre-configured. So it's got a trail stop with a certain percent. So you'll see that I entered at 723.40, which was the high of the day. And then it put a win target of 723.94. And then at that point, as soon as it gets to that target, the guy will come out and he'll say, yeah. And then it'll switch to a trail stop because that's how I have the trader flow managed. It might get there in a second, so I might as well just watch it and see if it goes so you can see that, and then I'll start going into the preferences. And then also, you know, it has the stop here, but you know, sometimes like Unmal will call out and he'll be like, hey, I want to go break even, or I want to do that or something. You can still do that in your broker. We don't have a button for that now, but you know what? I'm even just going to show you. You can see the orders there on the bottom. Just for fun, I'm going to put the break even at like 723.04, and you'll see like it immediately updated that stop there. So trader flow is like connected directly to your broker, and you know, nothing gets sent to us. It's all just, you know, between you and your broker 100%, but it's actively like monitoring that and actively monitoring the market. So it's, and then, you know, obviously managing the trades. Might not get to there. So you know what? I'm actually, I'll keep an eye on it. We'll hear it scream out. Or you might not. I don't know if you'll hear the scream out on yours or not. But anyway, I'll start going to some of the new features. So we got a new feature here called Morning Radar. This is pretty cool. I've been using it every single morning. It pulls all of the gainers and losers every single day. It also pulls like the economic calendar. So you can see like, oh, hey, there's a Chicago PMI and the governor talks today. So it's all like right here, nice and easy for you. Earnings calendars here. It only kind of shows relevant earnings. You know, if there's a you know, like a tiny small cap company or something that has earnings might not show up there, but you know, it'll show like prevalent earnings for you. Another cool feature that we added, if you can see, I have my trading view up here. We just added this new feature for connectivity from the software, so you can actually connect trader flow to your trading view and then view all of your charts. You know, so you can view your. You can click in trader flow and have it update trading view. So for instance, you can see the trading view. I'll click Myrna, and then all of a sudden you see the trading view charts automatically switch to Myrna or VTR. You click any of the buttons here. I don't know of any other software on the planet that does this. We're not sending it across the internet. It's like direct connection from your trader flow to your trading view. So it's super fast. You know, you click the button and it immediately updates. We also have a one-click button here for the watch list. So if you just like click this button here, automatically you can add something to your watch list. And then if you go into here, into your watch list, you can see all of the stocks. So this is my watch list for the day. You can click any single one of these and it'll update your chart. You can add a symbol. There's a ton of information that you can add here. So, you know, you can add a symbol, you can add Apple, you know, long. You can enter your own support and resistance levels. You can enter potential entries. You can add multiple potential entries. Like, hey, I like this on a buy setup, you know, if these particular conditions are met. And you can enter all of these in here. You can set alerts, and then you can add instructions. We don't have the feature yet, but ideally, you know, in the next release or two, these alerts, when they trigger, it'll pop up like a little toast message in trader flow with these like additional instructions for each one of these potential entries. So, you know, you can say buy setup, you know, if it gets over this, or like Alex had a call earlier today, you know, it was a PL or something under 2120. So you could, you know, you could say like, you know, hey, I like this as a failure, you know, under, you know, 2120 to, you know, 21, you know, 15 or something. And, you know, I think I'm going to target $20, and then you can add an alert and then type what you want to see when that alert pops up. So, you know, when this alert triggers, you know, this message here will show across, you know, across your screen. And then ideally you just press that button and it automatically kind of like pre-populates, you know, an order entry for you. You also see there's another thing here for an option chain, and I'll go into that as well. That's a pretty cool feature with regards to if people are trading options. Let's see, what do we got? There's a ton of features here. So watch list, you can go to your performance page. So this is like my live performance for the day. So this is, today's date. It's live. It's not like there's a bunch of other software out there that manages this stuff for you that, has to wait to the end of the day, or, it's pulling stuff from your broker. So they have all of your information. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. Yeah. So the win ARD was achieved. So you'll notice there's like a little trophy here, and then automatically switch to a trail stop. So you can't see it so easily on my broker, but the trail stop, I think it's about 20 cents away from the target. So you'll see this thing will just constantly move up as the stock moves up. That's just the trail stop order management feature. But, it's a cool feature to have. And the reason why I chose that is because of my back testing. So if I go to my back testing and I look at this, actually, let's do weekly. It very clearly shows that for some reason, out of my trades, trail stop just seems to be the best. This dynamically updates every single day based upon your trading and your, whatever you are, because it's using your like trading data. And again, we don't receive any of that. It's all processed locally, but it's using your trading data and it's back testing, 2,300 back tests per trade. Actually, it's way more than that, but it'll show you your back test sample and it'll show you your potential uplift if you decide one of these strategies. So for instance, it recommends a strategy for me, this trail stop strategy. So that's just what I picked because it's what it's recommended. And so far it's been working out really well. So order filled. So we made some money on that one. And so that one, that processed, and then as soon as that processes, it'll take like a second or something, but it'll show right up here in your journal. So let's see. So here's some trades that I took today, and we can just walk through a journal entry. So I already journaled these other ones, but I took Nike today with Unmall. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, hey, I took this with Unmall on the 5-minute, and I think it was a buy setup, and then I follow my plan 100%. You can choose with market. I'm kind of just testing now and almost teasing about the $100 risk. I've been testing a lot with this, so I haven't been trading 100% focused. So I kind of reduce my risk just so I can play around, so I don't accidentally do something stupid. But yeah, took Nike with Unmall, testing trade flow, and then you can add your comment, and then you can save. You can also go back here too and see the details. It'll show you all of your different orders that you placed. So if you went crazy and started moving your stop around or did a bunch of other stuff, it'll also show that. And then you can also check this out. You can also click view chart and it will update your trading view and show you that. And actually here, you know what? I'll switch screens so you can actually see the trading view because this part's pretty cool. So I can move it to like a full-size chart here. And if I click, oh, wait, you know what? I think it's from back testing. But if I click this, it'll not only go to the chart. Oh, yeah, there it is. It went right to the chart. And it also places right on here your entry and exit. So you'll see that when I click this view chart, it updated my trading view chart and then also like added the entry, like, hey, this is where I entered. And then also added the exit, like this is where I exited right on trading view. So that's a pretty cool feature. It's awesome for back testing, journaling, going back, sharing things with coaches if you have one. Let's see, that's the journal feature. Sorry, I'm not catching up on if there's any notes. All right, feel free to ask any questions if you want to. Okay, so that one trade closed and it processed already. So this was that one that we just took on the call here when I started streaming. So I'm going to say this was a 2-minute break and retest long, follow plan with market. Took okay. Nice risk reward, potential gap fill, short stop loss, and add a comment and save. So there we go. And then, it also keeps track of your journaling too, because this is super important. You want to have your journaling done. You want to keep track of everything. You can definitely put more detailed notes, but this actually keeps track of like, hey, how well am I journaling? So I got, my plan followed 71%. My journaling is 86% because I still have one to journal, which I'll do after the stream. But that's a journaling feature. Let's see. We got performance, journaling, backtest. Oh, this backtesting too. You can also, when you click any one of these, so there's 3 different, you can choose like profit, win, or best overall performance. And then each one of these, you can dig down into the actual, like, hey, these are the trades that I took. And then you can click this. And again, you can go to the, when you click on this, when you click on one of these links here, it'll open up in Trading View. And then you can see your entry, your exit, and then it'll show you, hey, if you followed this strategy, this is what the strategy's exit would have been. So if I followed the actual, like, this was a little bit higher, it was a 1.41 trail stop. But if I chose the 1.41 trail stop on this one, I would have made like 6R on this trade. And then here is that, here is that exit there. So it shows you not only here, like in the details, sometimes it's not so easy to interpret that. And you're like, hey, should I have, what really would have happened? So you can actually see that on the chart. I also have we also have like a new sneak preview of a new backtesting strategy that hasn't been released yet. Should be able to release it next week, but that'll actually also let you export all of your backtests. So a lot of people have been asking like, hey, the backtesting on the screen is great, but some people want to get like super nerdy and dig into all the details. So this will export all of your trades like in a huge list for every single account, and then every single backtesting strategy in Trader Flow, and it'll list that like per column and the results of each one of those. So if I chose like all or nothing, 0.5R to 4R, if I chose the 5 minute, 5 minute, here's the different management strategies we have. Oh, I don't have a trade to show you. It'll show you the different management strategies that we have. Oh, I can show you in settings. Here's some of the different management strategies we have. So if you chose like 2 minute 9 EMA, 5 minute 9 EMA, trail stop, or nothing, it'll go through the back testing of all of these with hundreds of different permutations and show you every single one of those on the Excel sheet. So this way you can dig into it and get super nerdy. It'll also break down on another sheet within that Excel file the path of every single one of those exits. So it'll show you the time, the time of, well, the time of entry is static, but it'll show you the time of exit, like what bar it exited on for each of those as well. Let's see. I might as well dig into some of the other new features in settings. So credentials, broker is pretty self-explanatory. Trading View. The only thing with Trading View is you have to actually open it from within Trader Flow. But if you don't have Trading View opened and you have it installed, but it's just not opened, or it's already open but it hasn't been opened in Trader Flow, you'll see a little pop-up that just says, go here and click this button, and you just click this button. It'll close the old Trading View and then reopen it with kind of like Trader Flow support. There's trading preferences. These are kind of like global preferences. You can set like, hey, I want to auto manage my positions. I want to hide my financials while I'm showing other people or doing something else. Then there is account management. So this shows you all of your different accounts. For each account, you can set up your own dedicated risk and default management strategy. You can also say like, hey, if I want to have auto manage turned on or not. So you'll notice earlier when I took that QQ trade, as soon as I entered, it already put in my stop. It already put in a management strategy. I didn't have to do anything. All I really had to do was enter, and then the software like took over everything. Oh, I'm still on I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, let me go over that again really quick. Here's the account management. It shows you all of your different accounts. There's the auto manage, and you can choose for each one of these. You can select, what you want for your management strategy, what you want for your risk, what you want for your win in R. And each one of these management strategies has like a slightly different, you can choose different bars back. They have like slightly different, features. Like, hey, I want, this is what I want for my target to be. The 2 minute and 9 minute EMA are pretty standard. The 5 minute bar by bar, you can choose how many bars back you want to go. And the trail stop, you can choose at what, like in R, you want to achieve before it kicks in that trail stop. And then down here for the trail, it lets you set like, hey, what percentage of that trail stop you want to select. And you can configure that per account. So if you have a bunch of different accounts, hey, I got one for core, I got one for swing, I got one for this or something, you can kind of manage all those independently. This is another really cool feature, the option picker templates. So if you trade options, you can select your own kind of picker template. And what this will do is it will scan all of the option chains for you. So one problem that this was trying to solve is some platforms are really, really slow when trying to open up option chains, especially depending upon your settings. And people miss out on trades just because, you know, either they didn't have the option chain pre-planned ahead of time, or, you know, when they go to load it, the broker kind of glitches or something. And, you know, I've had both TradeStation and IBKR take more than 30 seconds, sometimes 40 seconds or more, just to load the option chain. So then I can visually inspect it and choose one really quick, which is terrible for scalping, because if you're scalping, you know, every one of those seconds matters. So 30 seconds, 40 seconds is huge. I was missing out on a lot of trades. I know a lot of other people were. So what this does is you can configure a template ahead of time and select like a wide variety of settings, and it'll scan your broker like constantly as soon as the market opens, and live update option chains based upon these settings for you, so that this way, if and when you want to get into a trade, that option chain is already there. So I can show you an example of one. I have, like, in my watch list, Tesla. I usually Tesla with scalp or with the options. So I have in here in my watch list, I have populate an option chain, and then I chose my own, you know, my own option picker template right here. And then it live updates this. So, you know, here's the active live, you know, option chain based upon the settings that I chose. And it's constantly updating this all day long. So that this way, if or when I want to take a trade with this, I don't have to think about it at all. I can just go right to trade. And if I type in this ticker symbol, it knows immediately, like I typed in that ticker symbol. It's in my watch list. I have options selected. Oh, did everybody lose me? I'm still here. Okay. Okay, thanks. You can type in your symbol, and it automatically knows, like, hey, this is in my watch list, and this symbol is set up for options. So it automatically populates, you know, like, hey, I can automatically choose what, hey, I want to do calls or I want to do puts. This automatically switches to options. You can see the option price, the option high of day, option low of the day, and then you can also see all the underlying data here. You can, if you're like, hey, you know what, I originally was thinking about this for options, but I don't want to do that. I want to go to stock. You just click that button, and, you know, automatically stock selected, and then you can just trade it like you normally would, like you normally would select the stock. And then if you want, you can go back to options and then choose this and select all of these. If you have any questions about the order entry help, I know most people don't like to read, you know, help files and everything, but I tried to make this super, super simple. Like, each setting has a quick 1 to 2 sentence description, and then it has an example of exactly what that setting does and what it means. So this is really helpful if you don't understand, you know, the verbiage, or, you know, how the software works, or, you know, just what some of these terms mean. That's really, really helpful there. We also have a help file for the options picker template, because that can get this. Actually, you know, you shouldn't be trading options unless you're a little bit more advanced. But, you know, even people that have been trading options for a while, this stuff can still get kind of complex, especially with the Greeks and everything. So we also made this option picker template help. Again, same kind of thing. Really quick, you know, 1-minute sentence that kind of describes it, and then an example for each, because you can really set a lot of different rules and a lot of different features for this option picker template. You know, it goes to volatility, minimum volume. Mine personally is, you know, if or when I trade options, I don't like to have a lot of risk. So I like to choose, like, kind of slightly lower priced options, just so this way my max risk is really low. But, you know, we have some default in there. Extension scalp is, I think that's the one that Amal, he pretty much uses anytime he trades options. And then I also have, like, a slightly modified version of that for myself, which is an extension scalp, but it won't pick any scalps, or it won't pick any option chains that are $5 or more. And here, I'll just walk through, like, if you add template, you can set up a lot of things. Can you set up spreads? No, you can't set up spreads right now, but I can add that. If you want to give me an example of, sorry, for people that can't see, one of the users asked, can you set up spreads here? You can't do that now. If you want to give me an example of what you're looking for, we can easily add it. So one of the cool things about Trader Flow is, you know, it's a relatively, you know, tight community. And once you're in, you can actually vote on features like, hey, I want to have this, or I want to have that. Lots of our users, a lot of these features that are here, weren't like just because we thought them up or it was an idea that I had or Unmal had. It was from our users that, hey, Chester, can you add this? I want to do this or I want to do that. And then, a lot of those things, especially for stuff like that, for spreads, it's no problem. I can add that. Just explain to me exactly what you're looking for, how you want it to look on the software, or what will be best for you. And then we can go ahead and add that. We're constantly adding these, but you can add a ton of different features here. You can moneyness, delta, ranking, price, and then for each, not only can you can mark it like required or not. You can make it like, hey, preferred. You can do you can do lowest. It depends on what you mean by spreads, but you can't like choose spreads, but you can select a preference here based upon the spread. So for instance, I don't like to trade options. Like if it's a lower priced option, I definitely don't want a spread of like 50 cents. So I can say like, hey, I want my lowest spread, or pick the lowest relative spread out of, if there's 4 or 5 candidates for an option chain, pick the one with the lowest amount of spread, pick the one with the highest amount of volume. And then you can rank these, you can set them like, hey, I want this one to take priority over this one. Let's see. So yeah, there's a ton of things to dig in there if you want to get nerdy with the options. There's a setting here for the navigation menu. I think by default the morning radar shows in the bottom, but I didn't like that, so I moved it up to the top. But I mean, this is just kind of like a UI thing. You can update those and save the changes. There are sound alerts. You can update your sound alerts if you want to. I just have the default here that, hey, every time I got a win R % achieved, the guy screams out, yeah, and then whenever I get more than 1 R trade, it goes ta-da. I think those are the default sounds, but you can set those to whatever you want. Regarding backtesting, there's a ton of features here. Backtesting runs every single day after the market closes, because in order to properly backtest a day trade, we need all of the market data for the full amount of the day. So this way, we know when would the best exit be. But we have a couple cool features here too. You can actually download this. This is different than downloading of your backtest, which is a new feature that's coming out. But this feature here will allow you to download all of your trades. So it'll show you all of your trades. You can choose which account you want to trade, or which account you want to download the reports for, and you can download that as a CSV and an Excel. And essentially, it's just a historical, like, hey, here's all of the trades that you've taken in the X amount of time, and you can do whatever you want to with that. One cool thing with downloading the reports is you can also import them back with changes. So for instance, if you want to bulk update your journal, or if you want to kind of do like some, I don't want to say like fake testing, but you can take any kind of Excel, you can download a template from here, from this report, and then you can type in like some example scenarios like, hey, I wonder what would happen if I did this trade or if I did that trade. Trader Flow doesn't necessarily need to know like, hey, it was taken from your broker. You can put whatever you want to in there and you import it, and it will backtest that and show you the results on that. We have a special import feature for TradeStation, because by default, the TradeStation like API can only pull like the last 6 months of the data. Interactive Brokers is a little better. You set up a flex query, you can go back more than a year. TradeStation will only let you go 6 months by default, but they do have a place on the website where you can actually download like a special report that shows you all of your trades for the past, 1 or 2 or 3 years. So we made a special like import button just for that. So you can preload, more than 6 months worth of data and then backtest all of that as well. So if you want to like backtest all of your trades for the past year or 2 years or something, you can easily do that. Other than that, yeah, we have an updates feature. You can, if you want to be a tester or something, you can change your release channel to dev. I would just, if you want to do that, I would just say, give me a heads up first, just so this way I know that you're testing. But it's safer to be on the release build, and then at any time it'll automatically, whenever there's an update, it'll automatically show you like, hey, there's an update, and you just press the button and it'll automatically download it and restart Trader Flow. Should be easy. You can manually check here if you get some sort of post or something and that doesn't happen. I think those are all of the features that I plan on going through today. Let me know if anybody has any questions. I'll hang on for a couple minutes. And if nobody else has any questions, I'll say happy Friday. And so somebody asked, did we say that we'll have trade Thinkorswim next week? I said that it won't be done by next week, but we'll definitely start developing it next week. Fortunately, the Thinkorswim, no, it's okay. Thinkorswim, the API there is way more simple than some of the other brokers that we've looked at. So we expect the development of that to be pretty quick. Plus, some of our live traders users actually work for Schwab and actually work for the company that makes Thinkorswim, which I think it's Schwab or Schwab. And they're already familiar with that and have some of the development and gave us some examples. So that should make it even faster. So ideally, we start development in September, aim to have it released in September too. I'm hoping that it doesn't take more than a month. We want to test it and make sure everything is solid and perfect before we release that. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes. So I got to make it. We have so somebody else asked, can we go over back testing and pulling the data for TradeStation from the past years? I actually have a video on that. It just hasn't been released yet. So I'll post the video because it's actually, I called TradeStation and I asked them like, hey, how can I find all of my trades for the past year? And they showed me one area like in accounting. And it showed all my trades, but it didn't have the timestamps. It didn't have the order entry or the order exit, which is critical for backtesting. You can't backtest just knowing like, hey, I bought it I bought it on this date at this price and I sold it at this price. You need to know that timestamp. And actually, they weren't even aware that they had this data, but it's in a weird spot in TradeStation. You kind of have to go to accounting, and there's like 5 different buttons you have to click to get that report. But I made a video of it. And then it was funny because I was on the phone with TradeStation when I did it. And I was like, oh, no, it is there. And then they were excited that they had the information, too. So because they've been telling everybody for years that they didn't have it. But we did end up finding it. And then that export is exactly, you can just take that export and you can just upload it right here. And it'll populate all of your trades for the past, whatever. And then for the back testing, too, I mean, you can go back and do whatever. Let me switch to my sim so I don't. You can also, I forgot to ask. Or forgot to show, at any time you can switch back and forth between sim mode and live mode, and then hey, I want to test taking stuff on my sim mode, so that makes it pretty easy. But for your back testing here, you can go into your sim, and then you can go like, hey, you can select daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and then you can also like click back and forth. And the back testing isn't just a one shot. It's like isn't just a one time all or nothing. It's it does a back test for you every single day, for every single week, for every single month, for every single year, and you can go back in history and say like, hey, I wonder what the back testing would have been for me on August 9th to August 15th, or from August 12th to August 8th, or on any one of these single days, or it was like, oh, here's my back testing results for August. What would have been in July? What would have been in June? And then if you'll see like up here, your potential uplift, it's pretty crazy. Like, hey, you're trading one way, but if you just followed like this order management strategy, look at what you would have had 123%, more return. Here's another one here's 122% more return, 184% more return. So just following these back tests makes things a lot easier. Again, I don't know why, it's some personality thing or something that, the trail stops always work best for me. But I mean, even with that trade earlier with the Qs, if I did all or nothing on that, I would have lost. But I just followed the strategy. It's telling me that it likes my trail stop, trail stops, what works best for me. So I just listen to the software and I follow that, and, you make more money that way. I can't think of, are there any other questions? I think I went over the back testing part. I'll post that video. Actually, I have a whole bunch of videos. I have to do a couple of onboarding videos and some of these new feature videos. I'll break them down smaller for newer people, just so they can kind of go through. And we have new features coming out like every week. So I don't always release them every week, but I'm building them every week. But yeah, let me know if there's any. One other thing I can show, I didn't even think about it, is the new feature for the trading room. So I'm just going to move this down here so y'all can see, like, here's the trading room. And then, for instance, so here's one of the trades here. I don't know if you can see very well, but I'm in the trade announcements, and there's that little open and trader flow button. You just press that. Look at that. You press the button there, and it immediately pops open here. And you'll see that it says up on the top, like, hey, external trade request, received from, live traders. Currently, there's only live traders can talk to your trader flow. Like only Live Traders website's allowed to talk to this. But going forward, we could add other things here. But this is also just just a cautionary, like, hey, if you see this pop up, maybe click that button or something. But you'll notice. Here, I'll show you in a bigger screen. You'll notice here, see that the call was Nike 38.75 by 38.56. So I just clicked this button, and it automatically opens up in Trader Flow, and it has the exact 38.75 by the 38.56. It doesn't put the stop limit spread in there. You can put that there, if you want to. I usually put a couple cents in there just so this way, if it pops like crazy, you can still get filled. And it also auto calculates your shares based upon your risk. So, if you set your default risk to 1,000, and you press this button here, it'll auto calculate your shares. So you don't have to do any of that. Oh, one other thing I forgot to put on here. When you place these orders, I am in sim, right? Yeah. When you go to place these orders, this is kind of like the review order here. If you don't like that, you can just uncheck this and it'll automatically, you don't have to worry about that. It won't place it for you. Yeah, and that works for any of these. So for instance, there was another one Stefan called like Exxon. Same thing. You just press that button, automatically shows up. Hey, here's your entry. Here's your stop loss. Exactly how it was in the trading room. Let's see. Yes, this works with Trader Workstation. So Trader Workstation is actually a software written by Interactive Brokers. So this Trader Flow will talk directly to Trader Workstation or IB Gateway if you're using Interactive Brokers. It'll connect to both of them. But yes, it works with Interactive Brokers and TradeStation currently. And we're in the, as of next month, we'll be adding Thinkorswim as well. Any other questions? Promise I won't start singing. All right, no more questions. I'm going to say happy Friday. Moving back to my beach house today, so I'm really excited. I'm going to go eat some lunch and then get to work. Everybody have an awesome weekend. Hope you had a great trading day. Really excited. If you want to try Trader Flow, there is I think Amal's putting out links in the member chat room. You can also just go to trader-flow.com and you can sign up there as well. All right, that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody.